So in assignment 6.1, we're asked to determine if the two phrases form a period, and if it's a period, what type of it? Is it a parallel or contrasting? If it's not a period at all, we have to tell why. So let's first talk about what a period is. A period, first of all, consists of two phrases, and phrases are substantial musical thoughts, usually 4 measures long, that end with a harmonic cadence. They'll also have some type of rhythm cadence probably built in, but what we really need to do is look to see, after 4 bars, is there some type of ending or ending feeling? 1, 2, 3, 4. So here we should have some type of ending. Now here, 5, 6, 7, 8, we should have some other type of ending. So those would be 2 phrases that create 8 bars of music here in this first example. Next with the phrase, we have to decide what type of cadence is happening at the end of each of these 4 phrases. At the end of each of these 4 measures. What type of cadence? If the first 4 have a weaker cadence, and the next 4 have a stronger cadence than the first one, it's going to form a period. Finally, if a period's formed, and it starts out the same in the beginning of each 4 measure phrase, then it's going to be parallel. If it starts out different in the beginning of the second phrase, well, it's going to be contrasting. Let's hear and see what that means in practice. So first example goes like this. I'm going to play all 8 measures. So it sounds finished. Sounds like things ended, so probably authentic cadence. But let's look at it more carefully. First 4 measures starts out in D, measure 1, measure 2, measure 3, and finally measure 4. And it ends on the second note of the scale. We're in the key of D major, it ends on a E. So we don't have a whole lot of options for chords that would end on that. The 1 chord is a D, F sharp, A chord, so it couldn't have ended on a 1 chord. If it doesn't end on a 1 chord, well, we have to rule out that it's not an authentic cadence. And it's also not a plagal cadence, which would have ended on 1. Okay. What about a half cadence? Well, a half cadence would have ended on a 5 chord. And a 5 chord in the key of D is an A, C sharp, E. So it could be a 5 chord. It could end on a 5 chord. It's got an E there, and that's part of the 5 chord. A, C, E sharp, A, C sharp, E. A, C sharp, E. How about a deceptive cadence? Does it end on a 6 chord? Well, a 6 chord is a B, D, F sharp chord. No, it ends on an E, so it couldn't be a 6. Couldn't end on a deceptive cadence. So, we look at the options of plagal, authentic. No, those can't work. And we look deceptive. That can't work. The only real chord that works here, that contains the E in it, is ending on the 5 chord, on the A, C sharp, E. So this first phrase, 1, 2, 3, 4, must end on a 5 chord, making it a half cadence. Let's see if the next phrase does something different. So it starts out the same. But at the very end, it ends with the second scale degree 2 going down to D, 1. So it ends on tonic. Well, if it ends on tonic, there are a couple possible chords. It could be like the 6 chord, for instance, because the 6 chord is B, D, F sharp. It doesn't make sense, though, to have the end of a sentence here, probably, that started out the same in each time, end on a 6 chord. And we also note that this E here might spell out being part of a 5 chord previously. The most likely conclusion is, ending on a D at the last measure, it's some type of authentic cadence. That means 1, 2, 3, 4. The first phrase here ends on a half cadence, a weaker cadence. Then 5, 6, 7, 8. The second cadence ends on an authentic cadence of some sort, a stronger cadence. So, must be a period. Finally, what type of period is created here? Well, since the very beginning of each of the phrase starts out exactly the same here, measure 1 and 2 is the same as measure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Since they start out the same but only have different endings, they're called parallel. So for number 1, yes, a period is formed because it ends the first phrase with a half cadence and the second with an authentic cadence. If so, name the type. Well, since it starts out in the beginning of each the same way, it must be a parallel period. Let's hear that one more time. First 4 measures. Ends on a half cadence, not finished. Second scale degree sitting there hovering over the tonic. Next 4 measures starts out the same. Now it ends on the tonic and has more conclusive sound, so authentic cadence, and we have a phrase with a stronger cadence after that weak one. You could also potentially take your left hand and play chords that go along with it. So I could play one chord in the beginning,